The steam is still rising off the pot on my stove, and I am pressing a warm cloth soaked in that water against my cheeks the way my grandmother taught me 60 years ago in a kitchen that smelled of nothing you could buy in a store. Outside the window, it is barely light. This is the 10 minutes of my morning that no serum, no clinic, no waiting room ever gave me, and I want to give it to you. My name is Rachel. I am 64 years old, and I have spent most of my life learning what my grandmother and her mother before her already knew, that the skin on your face is not a problem to be corrected, but a living thing to be fed and calmed. I am not a doctor. I have nothing in a cart for you to buy. I am just a woman who kept the old recipes when everyone else threw them out, and I want to sit with you a while. By the end of our time together today, you are going to understand why the promise in a title like Better Than Plastic Surgery is a lie the industry tells, and why the honest truth underneath it is actually more useful to you than the lie ever was. You are going to know which everyday things in your own kitchen genuinely help firm and smooth the look of aging skin, and, just as important, which ones do nothing at all no matter what the label says. And here is the part that should make you a little angry, so let me say it plainly right at the start. A cream cannot do what a scalpel does. Let me be the one honest voice that tells you that. No jar of anything erases a wrinkle the way surgery pulls skin tight, and any product that borrows the words plastic surgery to sell itself is counting on you not knowing the difference. But here is the turn. You don't need the scalpel's result to look rested, softer, and younger than your years. Most of what reads as old on a face is not deep structural sagging at all. It is dryness, dullness, inflammation, and a tired surface. And that, the real cause, is exactly the thing you can change at home for a few dollars. Now, why weren't you told this? I want to be careful here, because I am not telling you there is a villain in a boardroom hiding a secret cure from you. It is simpler than that, and almost worse. There is no money in a spoonful of something you already own. Nobody can run advertisements for a bruised avocado or a cup of oatmeal. So the knowledge didn't get suppressed, it just got drowned out, generation after generation, by louder voices with $300 bottles to sell and a subscription to renew every month. The quiet free things went quiet because quiet doesn't pay. That's all. That's the whole conspiracy. Let me give you the big reframe, and then we'll get to work. Your skin ages in two ways. One is the deep structural change, the fat pads shifting, the bone changing under the surface. Creams don't touch that, and anyone who says otherwise is selling. But the other kind of aging is the surface story. The barrier that holds your moisture in gets weak. Cell turnover slows, little inflammations linger, and the top layer goes rough and thin looking. That surface story is most of what you see in the mirror, and it is almost entirely within your reach. When women glow up from simple home care, they aren't lifting bone, they're healing the surface, and a healed surface looks years younger. That's real. The engine underneath all of it is your skin barrier, the fatty top layer that holds water inside you. They have a fancier name for it, but you don't need the word. Just picture a brick wall where the mortar has crumbled. Water leaks out, irritants get in, and the whole face looks dry, crepey, and dull. Nearly everything I'm going to teach you does one of two jobs. It rebuilds that mortar, or it calms the inflammation that keeps tearing it down. Keep those two jobs in your mind, and you'll never be fooled by a label again. So let me walk you through the things that actually work one at a time. The first is the Humble Warm Compress, the very thing I started with this morning. A clean cloth, warm water, held gently against the face for a minute or two before you put anything on. It does something small and real. It softens the surface and helps whatever you apply next sink in instead of sitting on top. It costs nothing. My grandmother did it every day of her life and called it waking the skin up. She was right. The second is oatmeal. Plain, whole oats, ground fine in a coffee grinder until it's a powder. 1 tablespoon stirred into a little warm water to make a soft paste. Left on the face for 10 minutes, twice a week. Oats carry compounds that genuinely calm redness and irritation. This is one of the few folk remedies that dermatology fully agrees with. It won't lift anything. It will make an angry, reactive, older complexion look calmer and more even, and calm skin looks younger. That's the honest boundary and the honest gift, both. The third is honey, and I mean raw honey, the cloudy kind. A thin layer, 10 minutes, rinsed with warm water. Honey draws moisture into the surface, and it's naturally antibacterial, so it's kind of skin that breaks out even in later years. Yes, that still happens. And no, the industry never told you why. Patch test it on your inner arm first, as you should with everything I mention. Any new thing on old skin, you test on the arm and wait a day. That single habit will save you more grief than any product ever will. The fourth is a properly ripe mashed avocado, about a walnut-sized amount smoothed over dry areas. The natural fats in it are close cousins to the very oils your own skin makes less of as you age. It doesn't feed collagen. I want to be truthful, but it patches the mortar in that wall beautifully, and skin that isn't leaking water looks plumper and less lined within the hour. This is my remedy for a winter face. The fifth is plain full-fat yogurt, a teaspoon on clean skin for 10 minutes. The mild lactic acid in it gently loosens the dull, dead surface layer, a very soft version of what those expensive acid treatments do, at a fraction of the strength and none of the price. It helps even out the look of your tone and lets light bounce off your face again. Twice a week is plenty. More is not better. With your skin, gentleness is the whole secret. The sixth, and here's the part I went back and forth on, including, because the industry would truly, rather I didn't say it, a soft-boiled and cooled egg white, brushed thin over the skin and left until it dries taut, then rinsed. For a couple of hours it visibly tightens and smooths the surface. Now, honesty, this is temporary. It is not lifting anything permanently, and if a company sold you this exact effect in a bottle for $80, they'd call it a instant lift serum, and you'd believe it lasted. It's the same trick, but it's real for an evening out, and it costs you pennies. The seventh is rosehip oil, just a few drops pressed into damp skin at night. It carries the natural form of the vitamin that genuinely helps support smoother, more even-looking skin over weeks. Not overnight, over weeks. Patience is the price, and patience is free. The eighth I'll mention with a firm warning, because it matters. Lemon and other citrus. You will see it everywhere online for brightening. Here's the truth nobody puts in those videos. Citrus on your skin in daylight makes you burn badly and can leave you with darker marks than you started with. Sun and citrus is a rule you never break. If you use anything acidic, it's a nighttime thing, rinsed off, followed by sunscreen the next day, always. I'm not here to help you bleach or whiten anything. I'm here to help you even your tone and soften the look of spots, gently, safely. That distinction is the difference between helping your skin and harming it. And the ninth, quietly, the most important of all, water and sleep, and a hat in the sun. Unglamorous, unsellable, and more powerful than every bottle in the store combined, the sun is what ages a face fastest. A woman who shades her skin at 60 and a woman who baked in it. You can tell them apart across a room, and it has nothing to do with what either one paid. Now let me answer the questions I know you're asking, because a wise woman is a skeptical woman. Does this really work, or is it just an old lady's stories? It works within its limits, and I have told you those limits honestly the whole way through. That's how you know I'm not selling you a dream. Isn't natural just slower? Yes, it is slower. It asks for weeks, not a weekend. But slow, kind change lasts, and it never leaves you worse than it found you, which is more than the aggressive things can promise. And what about my dermatologist? Keep her, please. If you have a mole that changed, a rash that won't quit, a condition, that is medicine, and none of this replaces it. Nothing on your kitchen shelf cures a disease. I am talking about the daily care of ordinary aging skin, and there your grandmother's kitchen and your doctor's office were never really enemies. Step back with me for a moment. We have been taught to treat our own faces as something broken that only a stranger with a needle can fix. And I understand the ache behind that. Nobody wants to feel they're disappearing. But there is a different kind of dignity in tending yourself with your own two hands, in the quiet of your own kitchen, with things that grew from the earth. The women who came before us didn't have clinics. They had oats and honey and each other, and they aged with a grace we've somehow been talked out of. Getting that back isn't vanity, it's coming home. So here is your routine, plainly. In the morning, a warm compress, 1 minute, a few drops of a gentle oil pressed into damp skin, and sunscreen always before you step out. That's the free part that does the most. Twice a week in the evening, alternate the oatmeal paste and the yogurt, 10 minutes each, and finish with rosehip oil. Once a week, if you like, the avocado for deep dryness. Save the egg white for the night before a special occasion. The whole of it costs you a few dollars a week, most of it food you'd have anyway. Patch test every new thing on your arm first. Never citrus in the sun. Now I want to hear from you, and I read every single comment. I truly do. Tell me this. What did the women in your family do for their skin that no one sells anymore? A remedy from your grandmother, your aunt, the old country. Write it down for me because those recipes are how this knowledge stays alive, and I learn as much from you as you do from me. Next time, I'm going to open up the one thing I still haven't told you. The simple morning ritual I use for the delicate skin around the eyes, where every expensive cream fails and where 3 ordinary things from the kitchen do quietly better. Come back for that one. Until then, be gentle with yourself. And remember, the women who came before us knew things about their own skin that we are only just beginning to remember.